Good day, grade 9 students. This video is about solving quadratic equation by factoring. At the end of this video, you must be able to solve quadratic equations by factoring. Review how to factor different types of polynomials. Our knowledge in factoring polynomials will be useful in solving quadratic equations. Let us take a look at the expression below. We have here x squared minus 2x plus 1. What are the factors of the given polynomial expression? Recall that this kind of expression is a perfect square trinomial. A perfect square trinomial is a polynomial with three terms. X squared minus 2x plus 1. The first and last terms are perfect squares. X squared and 1, because x times x is equal to x squared and 1 times 1 is equal to 1. Both of them are perfect squares. The middle term, negative 2x, is negative twice the product of the square roots of the first and the last term. So it means that the factors of x squared minus 2x plus 1 is equal to x minus 1 and x minus 1. Let us have a review on factoring. Get the factors of x squared plus 9x plus 20. The first thing that you should consider here are the signs. We have both positive signs. And for our factors, we will also use both positive signs. Next one, what are the factors of x squared? The factors of x squared are x and x. Now let's proceed to the factors of 20 that when you add it to each other, ang magiging sagot niya ay 9. The factors of 20 are 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 5 and 4. From these factors, alin yung kapag pinag-plus natin, ang magiging result ay 9. So we have 5 and 4. So it means that the factors of x squared plus 9x plus 20 are x plus 5 and x plus 4. Now let's proceed to the second one. We have here x squared plus 6x minus 7. Observe the sign. First thing, we have a positive sign and then a negative sign. So it means for our factors, we will also have a positive and negative. Now, get the factors of x squared. The factors of x squared are x and x. Next, 7. What are the factors of 7? You have to think of the factors of 7 that when you subtracted to each other will result to 6. Bakit subtract? Bakit kanina when you added? Kasi kanina we have both positive sign. Pag parehas ang sign, kailangan pag pinag-combine, same sign, positive. Pero dahil tayo ngayon ay negative and positive, so ibig sabihin, we need to think of the number that when we subtract to each other will result to the coefficient of our second term. So ano ba ang factors ng 7? 7 is a prime number, meaning 7 and 1 lamang ang kanyang factors. But the next thing that you should consider is the sign of the middle term on your trinomial. It is positive, so dapat yung bigger number sa dalawang factors, yun ang ilalagay nyo sa positive. And then the other one will be a negative 1. So it means the factors of x squared plus 6x minus 7 are x plus 7 and x minus 1. For our third example, we have x squared minus 5x plus 6. Observe the sign. Nauna ang negative kay positive. So it means sa ating factors, parehas tayong may negative sign. Get the factors of x squared. We have x and x. factors of 6 that when you add to each other will result to 5. Bakit add? Kasi nga, same sign siya, parehas negative. What are the factors of 6? 1 and 6, 2 and 3. From this, makikita na natin kung alin ang gagamitin natin. 2 plus 3 is 5. So it means we will have 2 and 3. So the factors are x minus 3 and x minus 2. Pwedeng maunang x minus 2, pwede din namang maunang x minus 3. Now, for the last one, we have x squared minus x minus 12. So let's observe the sign, parehas negative. Kapag parehas negative, ang ating magiging sign sa ating binomial ay positive, negative. Positive, negative. Now, let's proceed to the factors of x squared. The factors of x squared are x and x. Next, what are the factors of 12 that when you subtracted to each other will result to 1? Bakit 1? Kasi may invisible 1 doon. Ang coefficient ng ating linear term ay 1. Or ang value ng b natin ay negative 1. So it means 1 dapat ang maging sagot kapag pinag-subtract ang factors ng 12. The factors of 12 are 12 and 1, 2 and 6, at 3 and 4. Alin dito sa mga factors ang kapag pinag-subtract sa isa't isa, ang magiging result ay 1. And the answer is 3 and 4. Saan natin ilalagay si 3 at saan natin ilalagay sa 4? Dahil ang sign ng ating middle term ay negative, yung mas malaking number ang ilalagay natin sa negative sign. While the remaining one will be a positive 1. So we have here x plus 3 and x minus 4. This is just a review from what you have discussed on factoring during your grade 8 mathematics. So kung gusto pa ninyo pag-aralan, kailangan balikan ninyo yung napag-aralan ninyo nung kayo ay grade 8. Let us now solve quadratic equation by factoring. If one side of a quadratic equation can be factored into two linear factors, then the equation can be solved by factoring. The zero product property of real numbers can be applied to solve quadratic equations of this kind. To use this property, you need to write one side of the quadratic equation as a product of two linear factors. Then equate each linear factor to 0 to find the solutions. Note that before you look for the linear factors, the quadratic equation must be written in standard form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. The zero product property is for any real number a and b. If a times b is equal to 0, then either a is equal to 0 or b is equal to 0. For our first example, we have x squared plus 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. First thing you have to check, is it already written on the standard form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0? If it is already on a standard form, we will now proceed to getting the factors. So, let's observe the sign of our trinomial. We have positive, negative, so it means that the sign of our binomials will be positive, negative also. Okay, now let's proceed to the factors of x squared. The factors of x squared are x and x because x times x is equal to x squared. Now, let's proceed to the factors of 3. The factors of 3 are 3 and 1 only because 3 is a prime number. And then, for writing the values, if it is positive or negative, first thing you have to consider is the sign of your middle term. It is positive, so it means that the bigger number should be positive. 3 should be positive, and then 1 will be negative. Now, let's proceed to our next step. we will get the first value of x or the x sub 1. Diba? Laging 2 values of x kasi nga quadratic equation, second degree equation. Kaya ang sagot niya, laging 2. So kapag nagsasagot kayo, halimbawa ng ating activity, ang katumbas ng isang equation ay 2 points because you are solving for 2 values of x. For x sub 1, we will use x plus 3 and we will equate it to 0. So it will become x plus 3 is equal to 0. To solve this one, you have to transpose 3 to the other side of the equation. So you have here x will be equal to negative 3. That is our first value. For the second value of x, we will use x minus 1 is equal to 0. And then, negative 1 will be transferred to the other side of the equation, making it positive 1. So the second value of our x is equal to 1 or x sub 2 is equal to 1. Let us have our checking. For our checking, we need to find out kung tama ang ating sagot by the use of substitution. First one, ang gagamitin natin ay negative 3. We will just substitute negative 3 to every variable x in our equation. So we have negative 3 squared plus 2 times negative 3 minus 3. Is it equal to 0? Negative 3 squared is negative 3 times negative 3 and that is 9. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Then copy negative 3. Is it equal to 0? Let's find out. 9 minus 6 is 3. Copy negative 3. Is it equal to 0? 3 minus 3 is equal to 0. 0 will be equal to 0. So it means we got the correct answer. For the second one, the value of 1. So we have 1 squared plus 2 times 1 minus 3 is equal to 0. So 1 times 1 is 1 plus 2 minus 3 is equal to 0. Bakit ito naging 2? Because 2 times 1. Bakit ito 1? Kasi 1 squared. Pinapalitan lang natin ang values ng x. Sa halip na x squared plus 2x minus 3 equals 0, ang pinapalit natin ay yung 1 mismo. So let's continue. 1 plus 2 is 3. Minus 3, is it equal to 0? 3 minus 3 is 0. So 0 is equal to 0. Meaning x equals 1 is correct. For our next example, we have x squared plus 15x minus 34 equals 0. This is already written on the standard form ax squared plus bx plus z equals 0. So we will now proceed in getting the factors of x squared plus 15x minus 34. First thing to do, observe the sign. We have positive and negative, meaning for our factors, we have positive and negative also. Next, the factors of x squared, that is x and x, because x times x is equal to x squared. Now, focus on the factors of 34. The factors of 34 are 34 times 1 and 17 times 2. Which of these factors are when you subtracted to each other will result to 15? That is 17 and 2 because 17 minus 2 is equal to 15. Alin naman ang magiging positive at alin ang magiging negative? Since ang sign ng ating middle term nung 15 ay positive, kailangan yung mas malaki ay positive 10. So 17 should be positive. And then 2 will be negative. So the factors of x squared plus 15x minus 34 are x plus 17 and x minus 2. Now, we will get the first value of x, or the x sub 1. We will equate x plus 17 to 0. So we have x plus 17 is equal to 0. To solve for this, we need to move 17 to the other side of the equation, making it negative. So we have x is equal to negative 17. For x sub 2, we have x minus 2 is equal to 0. Moving negative 2 to the other side of the equation to get the second value of x, we will have x is equal to 2. Kasi negative 2 nilipat sa kabila, magiging positive 2. Our next example is x squared minus 9x plus 14 equals 0. Since it is already on its standard form, we will now proceed in getting the factors of x squared minus 9x plus 14. First thing to do, observe the sign. We have negative and positive. Nauna ang negative kay positive. So, balikan natin yung pinag-aralan natin kanina or yung review natin kanina. Pag nauna yung negative kay positive, meaning negative parehas ang ating magiging sign sa ating factors. Now, get the factors of x squared. We have x and x. Now, the factors of 14. The factors of 14 are 14 and 1, 7 and 2. 14 times 1, 14, 7 and 2, 7 times 2, 14. So, alin dito yung gagamitin natin? So, i-relate natin siya kay middle term. Alin yung kapag pinag-plus sa isa't isa, ang magiging sagot ay 9. So, we have 7 and 2. So, the factors are x minus 7 and x minus 2. For solving the first value of x or the x sub 1, we will equate x minus 7 to 0. Then, minus 7 will be a plus 7 since ililipat natin siya sa kabila. So, the first value of x is 7. For the second value of x, we have x minus 2 equals 0. Ililipat natin ang negative 2 sa kabila. So, siya ay magiging positive. So, we have x equals 2. So, the values of our x are 7 and 2. Now, we will have our checking first para malaman natin kung tama ang ating sagot. For our checking, we will go back to the original equation x squared minus 9x plus 14 equals 0. At papalitan natin yung x with the values that we have on our answers. First one, we will have x equals 7. So, we have 7 squared minus 9 times 7 plus 14 equals 0. 7 squared is 7 times 7 and that is 49. Minus 9 times 7, 9 times 7 is 63. Plus 14 equals 0. Now, aalamin natin kung yung ating resulting value ay magiging equal ba kay 0. 49 minus 63 is negative 14 plus 14. Equal ba siya kay 0? Negative 14 plus 14 is equal to 0. So, 0 is equal to 0, meaning x equals 7 is correct. For our second one, we have x equals 2. So, we will substitute from our x squared minus 9x plus 14 equals 0. We will have 2 squared minus 9 times 2 plus 14. Is it equal to 0? So, 2 squared is 4. Minus 9 times 2 is 18. Plus 14. Is it equal to 0? 4 minus 18 is negative 14. Plus 14. Is it equal to 0? Negative 14 plus 14 is 0. 0 is equal to 0, meaning our second value of x is also correct. So, for our answer, we have x equals 7 and x equals 2. We have here 2x squared plus 5x plus 2 equals 0. As you can see, this is already on its standard form. Pero may value tayo ng a, and that is 2. So, let's find out kung anong gagawin natin. First thing to do, get the factors of our trinomial. So, we have positive and positive, meaning the signs will also be positive, positive. Now, what are the factors of 2x squared? Madali lang yan. That will be 2x and x. Why? Because 2x times x is equal to 2x squared. For the next one, what are the factors of 2? 2 is a prime number, meaning the factors will only be 2 and 1. Pero ang tanong, saan natin ilalagay ang 2? Saan natin ilalagay ang 1? So, take a look at this one. So, kapag halimbawa na nilagay natin siya, dito ang 2 at dito ang 1, at kung baliktad naman, 2x plus 1 and x plus 2 equals 0. So, kapag ganito, kailangan natin siyang i-check. 2 times x, 2x. 2x plus times 1 will be 2x. Pagsamahin natin itong dalawang ito, yung naging sagot. 2x plus 2x, 4x. Hindi siya katumbas ng 5x. Pero kapag itong isa, 1 times x, 1x or x. 2x times 2, 4x. So, meaning, pag pinagsama natin ng x and 4x, meron tayong 5x. From this, nakita natin na ka-equal siya nung ating middle term. So, meaning, our factors will be 2x plus 1 and x plus 2. Let us now equate 2x plus 1 to 0. So, we have 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. Let us solve. 2x plus 1 equal to 0. Ilipat natin ang 1 to the other side of the equation. So, we have 2x is equal to negative 1. And then, i-divide natin ang both sides of the equation by 2 para mawala ang katabi ni x. Makancel siya. So, the answer is x equals negative 1/2. Next, for our second value of x, we have x plus 2 equals 0. So, si plus 2, ililipat na lang natin siya sa kabila kasi wala namang katabi itong ating x na coefficient. So, we have x equals negative 2. So, the answers are negative 1/2 and negative 2. So, pwedeng maging fraction ng ating sagot. The product of two consecutive numbers is 72. What are the numbers? The keywords that we can use to understand the problem are product, two consecutive numbers, and 72. Product is the result from multiplication. Two consecutive numbers mean dalawang magkasunod na numbers, 72. So, for us to understand this, we have to let x be our first number. At ang sunod sa kanya ay x plus 1. Bakit? For example, ang number ay 5. Ang sunod sa kanya, 6. Kasi 5 plus 1 is 6. Halimbawa, ang number ay 100. Ang sunod sa kanya ay 101. Kasi 100 plus 1 is 101. So, we have to let x be the first number and x plus 1 be the second number. Going back to the problem, the product of two consecutive numbers is 72, meaning x times x plus 1 is equal to 72. We can simplify this equation using the distributive property of multiplication. X will be multiplied to x, and x will also be multiplied to 1. So we have x times x, x squared, plus 1 times x is equal to 72. We have to write this to the standard form of quadratic equation, x squared plus x minus 72 is equal to 0. From this, we can get the factors of x squared plus x minus 72 to solve this equation. So, the signs are positive, negative. So, for our binomial, we have positive and negative also. Then, the factors of x squared, we have x and x. What are the factors of 72 that when you subtracted to each other will result to 1? Because we have here the invisible 1. Factors of 72, number na kapag pinag-multiply sa isa't isa, ang sagot ay 72, pero pag pinag-subtract naman, ang magiging sagot ay 1. Those are 9 and 8. Since the sign of our middle term is positive, so we will have positive 9 here and negative 8 here. Now, we have to equate both factors to 0. So, x plus 9 is equal to 0 and x minus 8 is equal to 0. Solving for the values of x, first one we have x plus 9 equals to 0. Moving this to the other side of the equation, we have x equals negative 9. For the other one, we have x minus 8 equals 0. Moving this to the other side, we have x equals 8. Now, what are the numbers? We have to answer the problem. Since they are asking for the numbers, if we let x be our first number, we have negative 9 and 8. Negative 9 plus 1 is negative 8. Negative 9 times negative 8 is 72. Then, for the other one, for the positive one, we have 8. And then, 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 times 8 is also 72. So, we have here two sets of answer. Negative 9 and negative 8 and 8 and 9. Because when you multiply them to each other, the result will be 72. Thanks for watching this video. For questions and clarifications, you may ask them during the Zoom meeting or you may send them on the class group chat. Good luck and God bless you all.